Okay, so hello everyone. I am Micole Noble, and I hope you and I have at least had an opportunity to meet in person. If you're here on this call today, we've connected in one way or another over the years. So I am a life coach. I work for Chopra as a mentor coach for our coaching certification currently. I've been coaching since 2009. It's what I absolutely love doing. And I'm also an instructor. So I teach for Chopra. I have taught for Chopra many, many years, yoga, meditation, Ayurveda. And so I like to bring these teachings into my coaching. And now I have added retreats as an offering, as a way to serve my clients and others out in the world still looking for Chopra teachings. As most of you are aware, we closed the physical center back in 2019, and everything has been taken online. And then as of last summer, there are no Chopra live events. So what an opportunity for teachers like me, coaches like me, to get out and still be sharing these teachings that I love so much and are near and dear to me. So many of you on this call with me today, I know through these programs, so I know you can relate to that. But for those of you that don't know me in that way, if you're just seeing this recording and aren't sure what that is, Deepak Chopra has been around for many, many years, since the early 80s, sharing these ancient teachings from India, which is what this call is about, a trip to India to go to the mother, to go to the source of these teachings. And so just a little bit of background for those of you that may not know, I have visited myself India 2 times, 2 different times. The first time was in 2015. I had been teaching and wanted to go on some of a individual personal pilgrimage to the mother, India. And so I was able to attend with 10 other women. We went with women who had lived there before. So it was important to me, I remember when I first went, to have a guide, to have someone who knew the ins and outs. You know, India is a huge place and it's a lot to navigate on our own. So that's why I'm offering actually this as a small group retreat, because I remember what that's like. So that's what I'm offering here today, and we'll get into more of the details of that and what that looks like. But hopefully those of you who are here maybe have wanted to go to India, but just thought it might be too much of an undertaking, you know, to do it on your own. So that's what we'll be discussing today and what that will look like, and what this retreat's going to include. So I want to start, before I kind of just already dove right in or launched right into my story and why this is important to me to want to share it with you. I want to offer just a quick grounding first, okay? I want to connect you all, just a grounding visualization. So just a couple of minutes to close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself just a moment to go within. These teachings from India, ancient teachings from India, really are based in awareness, presence, consciousness. These are consciousness-based systems of teaching and healing. So just want to allow ourselves a moment to use our breath to get present. Take a nice long inhale and exhale. Just letting go of anything from your morning. Allow yourself to arrive. I know many of us are multitasking usually. So try to be present. Connect to what brought you here to this call. What is your intention? What are you hoping to walk away with by the end of our call? I set this up as an informational call, so you will be getting information. I want you to connect, though. There's an experience, there's a way of being that you're craving. Perhaps you're hoping this retreat might give you access to that. What is that? So just take a moment, connect to what it is that you're seeking. And we trust that what we seek is seeking us. So there are no accidents that you're here today. Connect to that vision. See yourself getting on a plane, setting out on the adventure of a lifetime, carving out 14 full days for you and for your healing. What will that feel like? Who would you need to be to invest in yourself in this way? And keeping that connection to this vision as we go through our call today. Trust the details will get sorted. What is the experience you want to have? What's the beingness? And floating your eyes open when you're ready, come back into the space. Much better. Okay, always a great idea just to center, to ground, to get present. So thank you. I, again, launched right into the information and why I'm passionate about creating this retreat. I myself have been to India twice. I remember what that was like to want to go to India, but having no idea where to start. And so having someone to guide us, having someone to share in the experience. So I'll be going myself and having the experience with you. This is an individualized experience. So this is a group going together. However, you will be having your own experience. So I wanted to connect you to what would that be like to just give yourself 14 days, okay, for you. For some of us, we can't even fathom. And so I was gifted this same 14-day retreat that I want to take you all on last year. So in 2023, I went with my uncle, who is my mentor. Many of you know he's been my coach for many years. He is my uncle. He's everything to me. I do a lot of traveling with him, but we got to go together and have this experience. He had been, and now he's going again in a few weeks. So this is an experience that I want you to start to see as an opportunity for yourself. The cost of the retreat itself, you're going to see, is minimal. It's really the cost of travel mostly to get yourself there, the airfare and that. But we'll go into those details in a minute. But something that I myself want to do every maybe other year now that I've been there. It once you have the experience and see how really easy, simple it can be. Okay, so I'm going to make this really simple, really easy. For those of you that have coached with me and know me at all, you know I like least effort. So that's what I want to include in this retreat for everybody. Okay, so I'll be putting all the details together. All you have to do is get yourself there. Okay, and so we'll go into more of that in a moment. Hopefully you are staying connected to what's that feeling? How are you going to feel after 14 days of a traditional Indian Panchakarma? Panchakarma just means detox. Okay, pancha is 5. So there's really 5 things in India that they bring in, you know, the food, the massages, the treatments, right? Every single day. You'll have a physician that comes in and checks on you every single day. So you'll have that interaction. And so for those of you that have health issues that you want to focus on, or if you don't, when I went last year with my uncle, we both were coming off of programs at the new year. So we were really in somewhat of the best shape we'd been in. So we were on the rejuvenation program. And I still felt so amazing after 14 days. I cannot describe to you how just clear and amazing the experience was to be that connected, right, to self, and to have no pain at all in my body. That was the first time in a very long time I didn't have a single pain. Okay, so that's how present we get when we just allow this time for our bodies to heal. And that's what this opportunity is. That's what a traditional Panchakarma is about. And there are things you can request. There are things you can add on. They'll be telling you how to eat if there's something that you're trying to balance in your body. Okay. But it's really up to you, right? What you decide to take on. But you will have that guidance, is what I'm saying. All right. So 14 days, we would arrive on or about March 19th of 2025. And we'll get into more of the details of this as it gets closer to the dates. I know this feels like it's far away, but it's less than a year away and it's going to go fast. So March 19th, we would all arrive on or around that day. And from the airport that you fly into, most of the flights get in very, very late. Okay, so like middle of the night, kind of late. So what you would do is just walk across the street from the airport, no matter what time you get in, walk across the street to a 5-star hotel. And so making it really easy, right? Getting off the flight, walking directly to the hotel. So you have a hot shower, you have meals included in the hotel stay, which we'll talk about this too. You'll actually be booking or paying for the hotel yourself directly. And I have somebody that's going to get us a group rate. Okay, so it's very inexpensive for what you think a 5-star hotel might look like. Okay, in US dollars, it's very, very inexpensive. So we would each be sharing a room with one other person. And we'll talk about what that would look like too. If you're traveling with someone, obviously you'd be with that person. If not, we'll just, to help with cost, we just double up in the rooms. Okay. But so that's what would happen when you arrive. You would just step off the plane, walk across the street, have a bed to sleep in, wake up the next morning refreshed, and then travel by a small bus to Ayurveda, which is the Ayurvedic village that we would be together at for 14 days. Okay. So this whole trip, just so you know, is spent at Ayurveda. Okay. This isn't touring India. This isn't going, we're going to be in the south of India. Bangalore is in the southern part of India. The first time I went to the middle part in Pune, which is sort of the middle of India. Again, India is huge. So we're not necessarily going to be near huge cities. Bangalore is somewhat of a smaller city, but it's also in the south of India, which many of you maybe have heard of Kerala. It's sort of in that same region where a lot of retreat centers and a lot of places like Ayurveda are. Okay. For those of you that were wondering where in India we're going. Okay, so we stay at the hotel, we transport to Ayurveda, stay there the entire 14 days. And so for a 14-day stay in a room all by yourself, you're looking at a cost of the retreat, and this includes transportation. You're looking at a cost of $2,499 per person. And that's the entire 14 days. So that includes the doctor's consults, one consult with a yoga master upon check-in for you yogis that want to make sure you're getting your practice on. There will be yoga classes every day. One major, so a 45-minute, and one minor, which is a 30-minute treatment every day. So you have 2 treatments per day. I cannot emphasize how amazing the treatments are. And then unless otherwise prescribed by the doctor. So if there's something specifically you're looking to heal, you might have more than 2 treatments a day, but you're having at least 2 treatments a day. Okay. Included in this cost. And then there are 3 group sessions, as I said. So yoga, meditation, and pranayama classes daily. Tea, coffee, 3 meals in the restaurant. Again, the diet might be individualized based on what the doctor is prescribing or suggesting. But 3 meals, 3 hot meals a day. There is low band Wi-Fi. Of course, I recommend getting off your phones, your devices, for as much of the 14 days as you can. But even I myself struggled with that. So what I did is the first 5 days, I locked my phone in the safe. to force myself not to look at my phone. Because that's part of this, right? Like, what are the things that you really, really, really want to change? So we know it takes at least 21 days, more like a year to change habits. But if there's something you really want to change, this is an opportunity to do that. Okay. For me, I've been trying to spend less time on my devices. So that was important to me. Okay, so this includes your accommodations, all the taxes, okay, and the transportation to and from the airport, the hotel at the airport. Okay, so the only thing, oh wait, so, and then there are evening guest activities. So one night they have a talk on Ayurveda. One night they'll have a talk on yoga. There's a cooking demonstration. There's an herbal history tour of the area, a local temple. Like I said, we will stay on property almost the whole 14 days, but you can go out if you really, really want to. There is a temple close by that they do a little tour, which is kind of fun. But you will be otherwise staying at the Ayurveda ground. So the only other costs you'd be looking at, these would be on your own. If you want additional treatments. So when I went, it was my birthday. So I treated myself to like a full body, scrub and massage and like a whole queen treatment. I'm not even telling you, it's so inexpensive. You may want to do extras like that for yourself, or facials. I had one of the most amazing facials ever. Laboratory, any discharge medicines, which I stocked up before I left Ayurvedagram. I got eye drops and nose drops and the things that they were already coming in my room every day and doing for me, because they will come to your room every single morning and wash out your eyes and give you little nose drops and put oil on the bottom of your feet and just all these little, daily routine kind of things. So if there are those that you want to continue or take home with you, you can buy, products extra there to take home with you. And again, the cost is so minimal, it's worth it. Okay. So those are the costs. The only, again, things that aren't included are going to be your airfare. So you would be responsible for figuring out the airfare, and I can help guide you. I like to use Matt's flights online. You pay like 99 bucks for the year, and then he'll find you the best routes and least expensive ways to get to places. So if that's something of interest to you, you might have your own travel agent already. The hotel you would pay directly on your own. And like I said, on average, 125 a night ish in US dollars on each end. So 250 total for the hotel. And that includes your meals in the restaurant as well, meaning the main restaurant. They have extra restaurants if you want to go fancier. You could do that on your own. Okay. But for the most part, the breakfast and that is included, I believe. Okay. I have a landing page that's going to include all of this information coming soon. So just for now, I wanted to get this out to you guys so you could start thinking about this and putting it into your calendar. And then, and then to hold the spot, so due now or any time before September 1st would be half of that amount. So half of the 2,499. If you wanted to double, if you wanted to bring someone, the double rate is 3,649. So that's a room you could share with someone. Now, I would recommend personally, you want to have your own experience. If you want to bring a spouse or a significant other, great. Okay. And you want to share the cost, totally fine. But if you're trying to cut down on costs, again, for this price, my recommendation would be for you to have your own experience if you can. Okay. But double rooms are available, just so you know, at that price, 3,649. So it would be half due now to hold your spot. And then the last half would be due before September 1st. Because that's when I need to secure, tell them how many rooms I need. Okay. And then there will be no refunds after December 1st, because I would need to pay for everything in December, okay, to lock down everything. So no refunds after December 1st of this year. So that gives us plenty of time. We're end of April. Oh my God, it's May. Okay, May, June, July, August, September. So you've got about 5 months to come up with the other portion. Okay. And then just, I'm planning to take at least 10 people. Up to 15, I don't think that's going to be difficult to do. I've already had a really great response. So I would say if you are serious about going, pay the half to hold your spot as soon as you can. Okay, that would be my recommendation. And my intention is to do this every year, maybe every other year, depending on how, much interest there is. I myself want to get there at least every other year. So if I could go every year, that would be great too. Not a bad problem to have. Okay. So if that's something, if you can't do it this time, I'm saying just know that's my intention to maybe do this again. Okay. So it's not like this is a one and done thing either. Okay, any questions? I'm going to open it up to you, those of you that are here on the call with me. What questions do you have? I can see a couple of faces. Not everybody's had their camera on, which is totally fine.
Micole, I don't necessarily have a question. I just want to say I'm very excited.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many different pictures of people doing these things, and I feel like, my gosh, that would be amazing. But it felt intimidating and the unknown and all of that stuff. And then you were so kind to do a podcast with one of my friends and talked about your trip. And so I emailed you and said, I want to do this too. Like, how did you get it going? And you were like, lucky you, there's going to be a trip happening as a group. And I thought that feels so good to go with someone who's already gone, that I've never met but really trust and been with for over a year during all of this stuff. So this just feels like a really big honor, and I'm looking forward to making it happen.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I have on my thoughts are, this is just now coming to my attention that we can bring other people.
Mm.
So to save my spot, I would have to also be able to say it's one or two. So that feels a little anxious for me, but I also feel like maybe that's just because I'm supposed to just go alone this time. Then
Yeah.
maybe next time, if I'm, going again with you, I could say, maybe it's time for my husband and I to go together, because I feel like he would really benefit from this. But to get him to make a decision and answer me, he's a kapha, like it's just not going to happen. So I want to save my spot with
I can
that.
relate to that 100%. So I went with my uncle the first time, and that was my intention. I want to go and have the experience first so that I can speak to it. Because sometimes it's difficult, right? To just say, oh my God, let's go because I know this person that's going and I trust them. And right, then your friend has to trust you, and it's this whole thing. So we're able to, people feel it when we can speak from our own experience. So for you to imagine yourself coming back after India and sharing from after having that experience. Sometimes my husband's similar. And it's my intention to take my husband this time because of the experience I had. So I totally feel you. And I would say if you know for you that you want to come, that you want to make this happen, I would say just hold your spot. If he decides to join, I'm sure we can figure it out, just
Mhm.
again, maybe before the September timeframe to know for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
And also you had mentioned that there, somebody that could help find some good deals on airfare.
It's
I
just a
obviously,
service. Yeah, just a
okay,
service that I use.
okay,
It's a pretty common one. It's not like a travel agent. It's called Matt's Flights. So
okay,
MATT''S. If you Google it, like I said, you pay like a $99 fee, but I travel so much that I like to because to go on Expedia and all these other things that with all these ads and everything, he will send you trip options like the if you're asking for least expensive or you're asking for the quickest route, like he'll find all that stuff out for you. So it's very helpful.
okay.
That's worth the annual fee.
Do you have a ballpark figure, being, gone here before, like what the airfare is gonna be like or what it was for you, or?
I don't, only because everybody's going to be coming from somewhere else. When I flew last time, I flew from San Diego to Hawaii, and then we went through Japan. There's other routes, there's other, based on where you are, that, you know what I mean, that affects all of it too. So I hate to give
Right.
an average. It
So,
really just
yeah.
depends. And this far
Mhm.
in advance, you can find deals and things, which is why I wanted to give everybody so much notice, to, like I said, to maybe reach out to Matt's Flights and just say, if you can watch these flights for me and let me know, if, when deals come up, because that happens too.
Mhm.
Um,
That $100 fee, is that per person or just for the thing? Like if I were going with my husband and doing
Yeah,
something
just
like
for the
that.
service. No, so you could
Okay.
say me and, a flight for two people, on these dates.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then if you want to fly coach, or if you want to, when I went the first time, I flew to New York from here and met up with the women. I was the only one from the West Coast. It was all East Coast women that I went with. So I had to fly from here to Newark, and then we flew Newark to Mumbai because we were going to a different area of India. But so again, it just depends. And if you
Right.
want to fly coach, or some people want to fly business class when you're going that far, you want to have a place to be able to rest too. But it's totally up to you. That's why
Totally.
I'm having airfare be up to everyone, because everyone has so many different things that they like when they travel.
Mhm.
And some people are just looking for the most inexpensive way to get there, right? So that's if that works for you, or what you're looking for too, you can kind of figure that out.
I can see that Kat has her hand up, so I was just going to confirm that you're going to be emailing all of this information to us so we can look it over and,
Well,
know where I'm sending the,
yes.
yeah.
I am going to have a landing page put together, so that will have all the details about how to hold your spot and all that. And I will have that on my website. I'll have that this week.
Okay, so I need to go to your website to find the information.
Yes, and I'll
Okay.
probably send an email out with this link to the recording, and I'll include that, the where you can link right to my website for more
Oh,
info.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
include you in that for sure.
All
Thanks,
right. Thank
Sonia.
you.
I'm so excited, love.
You too.
Really. Yay. Kat, you had your hand up. Yes, thank you for being patient.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Hi.
So I have few questions actually. So the first one is, when you come two people together and you share the room at the facility, each person will get the two treatments per day, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then the price was 3,000 and how much?
3,649. That's
Okay.
for a double.
Yes.
Mhm.
The next question, if let's say one person will not be interested in two treatments per day, maybe just one, or maybe even like, here and there, would those other treatments be transferable to that other person, the family member?
That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think the recommendation is for, again, it's part of a program, right? Once you
Yes.
get there, you'll sit with a physician and look at what are the things you're wanting to balance or heal.
Okay.
So those treatments will be based on that, right? They'll suggest different treatments based on what you're trying to balance. So that's a great question for when you get there, probably. If the person doesn't like treatments or doesn't want that many, like what happens to the other ones?
Okay. Would you be able to find out?
Yeah,
Or
I can ask for you. Yeah, for sure. I didn't
perfect.
even think of that. I think, it's a recommendation, right? This is a
Yes.
healing journey.
Yes.
So they're recommending the treatments for
Yeah.
specific purposes.
Sure. So the next question is about the cuisine and the restaurant.
Yeah.
How authentic and Indian the food is out there.
Very authentic Indian. So
Okay.
yeah, it's not like ordering from a menu. They're going to have a set thing for breakfast. For me, I wasn't on any specific diet plan when I was there. So on certain days, if I requested scrambled eggs, they would make me scrambled eggs.
Okay.
Right. So there are things you can request, little things like that, as long as you're not on a specific, eating
Okay.
program.
But it's mostly like Indian food, what they eat normally, let's say breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, the mornings were like fruit, mostly fruit, fresh fruit, which I like, tea, coffee options, different juices. You can also request different drinks. I know people like fresh coconut water. That was an option.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's different things for breakfast, but then lunches and dinners were similar as far as, like dal and traditional Indian dishes.
Indian. Okay. Now, is there
And
any...
mostly veggie. Sorry, no
Yes.
meat that I
Okay.
remember at all.
Okay, so it's more of a vegan diet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's strict vegan. It might be vegetarian.
Okay.
But let me check on that too.
Okay, and then if someone, let's say, enjoys chicken, let's say, would it be possible to have a meal with, let's say, chicken? The
When
Indian
I wanted
traditional.
protein, I requested eggs. I think that was one of the protein options. I don't know that there were, they're not big meat eaters.
Yes.
And it's somewhat of a luxury to get meat over there. So when we're at the hotel, when we check in the first day and on the way home would be an opportunity to, eat in a restaurant and have more options like that.
Okay,
but
but the diet
program,
then it's going to be more of a vegan diet.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so that's that. Now, when we get there, and you said we mostly gonna be out there in the compound, then where would be like the nearest, let's say, village? And then is there like, can you walk there?
No, it's not recommended. Just outside of the Ayurvedic village, there's not much at all.
Okay.
It probably takes, and they would drive you if you did the temple visit. I said there's maybe a temple tour on one of the days if you want to go, and it's probably a 10-minute drive.
Okay. Okay. So
temple.
there is no like a, let's say, nearby village that you can walk to and explore.
No, and I wouldn't recommend it because it's too far.
Okay.
But they do have cars and different things. If you had a request, you could hire a car to take you somewhere. It's not like you can't. It's not like you can't leave.
Yes.
But the idea would be for us to stay, together for the 14 days, which is what we did. And there is a track around the property. So every morning we got up and walked the track like many, many times to get our exercise or movement in. And then you have yoga after that. And
if you would want to do like more of an exploration of the area, not even, like I would not be interested in cities, but like more of like a, village life and things like that. Then you said we could hire a driver, let's say for a couple hours.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know people that made requests that wanted to go shopping different places. They would do that. They would, pick a day and just go shopping for the day.
Okay.
But that's not something we'll do as a group.
Yes. Price range. How much would that be to have, let's say, a driver for a day?
It's very inexpensive. I don't know. Because I didn't.
Could you ask?
Yeah, I know the transportation from the airport, is a particular price, but let me ask for if you wanted a village tour or a shopping day, what the rate is. I can ask my contact about that. Okay?
Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kat. Exciting. Great questions, by the way. I didn't even think of some of these questions. And that, this is that we are going to be at this village for 14 days. But again, you're not trapped there. If you absolutely wanted to get out somewhere else, I'm just not going to be giving a tour of any other areas of India. So if you're having in your mind, for me, I never had an eat, pray, love kind of thing where I wanted to go out and adventure on my own and have that experience. But for some people, right, they do. That's what they love, and they want to get out and see all the things. And this is not that. This is more really of a particular healing journey and a traditional, authentic Panchakarma. And for those of you that are Chopra trained, Dr. Suhas, actually, this was his recommendation as one of the most authentic places in India you can go for a traditional Panchakarma. Okay, so just know that that's where how we found it. Okay. Okay, what other questions, if any? How many of you on here, I'm just curious, anyone on here been to India before? No. Okay, good. First timers. I like that. And what would have you really excited to go to India? Or what brought you here? I just want to hear from a couple of you. What got you here? What are you envisioning when I had you envision, how that's going to feel after 14 days of just balancing your body and your mind and your spirit? Oh, and something I didn't add is what's also included in this price. So after dinner, there's usually not a lot going on in the evenings. So I will be hosting, not every night, but most nights I'll have a satsang where we can all come together and just talk about different things. So if any of you are looking for recommendations to prepare before we go, I would suggest getting the book or the audio for Untethered Soul. And some of you I know have already read that and things, but that's what this is about. Okay. It is about the traditional balancing the body and what do I want to heal? And this is about connecting to spirit. This is about connecting to you. So, like I said, every morning we had the same routine. I set my alarm. I meditated on my own very first thing in the morning. They do have a meditation class every day. But for me, I just wanted to stick with my normal routine. So I would get up 5:30, meditate in my room before I went out and walked the track. Then I would have them come in every morning. Like I said, they come in and wash out your eyes and give you nose drops. And it's just so sweet. They bring you a flower. It's lovely. A little ceremony in the morning. Okay. And then have my coffee before yoga started. Then I go to yoga. And then after yoga, we go to breakfast, right? It's just, so you get in this routine after so many days, right? But it's just so beautiful and really honoring the cycles, right? These daily routines that we learn about to actually have that experience. It's unbelievable. I just can't even, describe how good it feels. So connecting to that for yourself. And if you want to talk offline or connect offline, I'm happy to do that too. I just always love to know, what's that vision for how that's going to feel? And like I said, if you want to have that experience first yourself and then come back and share it with everyone you know, because you will want to share it with everyone you know. That's why I'm taking all of you. I can't help but share it. Really, really powerful, especially for those of us that have studied these teachings for so long, as a way to celebrate that, right? India wasn't on my list of places to take my family on a vacation, or it was a personal thing. It's a personal pilgrimage. Okay, so without having that eat, pray, love, where you just want to get out in the world and figure it out, that's great for some people. But for me, my first trip to India, I called it the 5-star India tour because all of our meals were planned, because safety issues too. And that's something we'll get into more details. I'll send more information as it gets closer. You'll want to check in with your own physician about what they recommend. If there's any vaccines, I personally did not do any vaccines either time I went to India, and my doctor read me the riot act. But that's me. You had to trust yourself how you feel about that. Okay, so no judgment. This is totally a personal journey. There are things you can take ahead of time, like probiotics and things to prepare your gut, because that's really the biggest thing when you're traveling anywhere. You're just going to be eating things you're not used to eating. So you want to prepare your gut as much as possible. Okay, so like grapefruit seed extract is a great thing just to get in a capsule form, and you can start taking that like a few weeks before we travel. Okay, so there's little things you can do. And then I brought, all the essential oil stuff like On Guard, Thieves, right? So that's antibacterial, antiviral, put it on everything. And then we'll talk about, there are some mosquitoes. The time of year we're going, it's warm, but it's not too hot. Okay. Anytime after April, you can get into monsoon season and super, super, super hot. So we're also picking the time of year that it's not going to be sweltering, but it's still going to be warm. Okay. It's always pretty warm, but not super hot. But there will be mosquitoes, but there's things you can take to prepare, and they come in your room and you know, they put citronella and all that stuff too, that you know, so you can protect yourself. Okay. But you're in India. So keep that in mind. You know, I found myself starting to complain when I was in India. And then I'm like, okay, do you know where you are? So it is, you got to be a little bit adventurous with certain things. Okay. Let go of any expectations. But it's also a really beautiful experience when we do that, right? We stay present.